What's crack-lackin' reptilian nerds? So I'm excited today. Welcome to the second episode of Mighty Morphin Live. My name's Ryan, and today's going to be a juicy episode. So we're going to be talking about chameleon importing today, the good, the bad, the ugly, and just the damn straight truth behind it. So it's going to be pretty juicy, and I'm actually really excited for it. But there's something that I actually want to talk about before we start the episode today. So I don't know if you guys know, but there is a USARK alert right now where Washington is actually trying to do an animal ban for shows, right? Meaning like you can't do any animal exhibitions for any kind of entertainment whatsoever. So like there's actually two companion bills for it. So like you can't have any like sugar gliders, any exotic mammals, reptiles, or anything like that at all. But they try to say that you could do it for education. But let's admit it though, if you do education, then that's actually leading to entertainment right now. So what you can do to take action for it is like you can actually go to the USARK website right now, scroll down a little bit, and there's an actual ban form you can fill out. There's two of them. Copy and paste, email them, and it's just good to go. I also left I left their YouTube video down below where you can watch it. It's about 5 minutes long. And even if you're not from Washington, I would really appreciate if you can help out, because here's the thing, dude. If this happens in just this state right here, what's to stop them from actually going to another state and not doing it, you know? So it's actually kind of important that we all stick together and just really help each other out. And so there is a big show called the Pacific Northwest Reptile and Exotic Animal Show this weekend, and we actually have USARK coming this weekend for it. And they provided us with these little animal bands to help let all the people that are attending the show just be aware of it. So that's pretty cool. But we actually also have Vanessa, the representative of USARK, actually attending. So I'm pretty excited for that. She's a really cool person. But okay. All right, let's get to the show. So now we're going to have, so today's show, our main co-host is actually going to be Mitch right here. Mitch from West Coast Chameleon Brothers. What's happening, man?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, so Mitch has a lot of experience with wild-caught importing and working with them behind the scenes. So he's going to be the main person we're going to be talking about it with today. And we're going to get some really juicy stuff, I promise you that. But then for our special guest today, we got Darcy, who used to briefly work with Mitch. What's crack-lacking, Darcy? What's happening?
Hi. Nothing much.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Okay, so you guys used to work together, right? So like, actually, how long have you been working with Wildcats for, Mitch?
For me, about 7 years. But Darcy and I have been working very hard on them. I think it was about 3 years that we worked on them for. Really couldn't have done it without her help. A lot of work.
It was fun.
Yeah, so how long did you guys actually work together? Actually, what was your role behind the scenes working with Mitch along these Wildcats?
Like setting up the animals, just being there since they arrived, unboxing, setting them up, medicating, everything. Basically everything. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you guys have worked a bit together, but so guys, so I've actually done a little bit of part of their unboxing, import before. I actually made a YouTube video of it about a year ago with them. It's on my thing right now, or on my Chameleon playlist, and you can watch it there. But also, we thought it'd be kind of fun if we actually went over it and kind of relive the moments, and so you guys can actually see what it looks like unboxing an import of just a bunch of different chameleons. It's pretty badass. It was actually my first time ever doing it too, so let's get to it. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up on the screen over here.
It's gonna be fun to rewatch it.
I know, right? So there's gonna be no sounds. We're just gonna talk over it. So, God, I'm such a ding dong, bro.
Always.
Okay, let's fast forward to so the first animal that we had here, what was it?
I don't even remember. Oh, an Akarami.
Yeah, you remember this? So, guys, this is called an Ankarami. It's also the Pink Panther. You know, a lot of people just don't have this in captivity. There's hardly anyone working with them. But dude, if you guys really take a look at this Ankarami, this thing looks like dog crap, dude. I mean, look at the sunken in eyes, and you can kind of see the bone right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I totally can.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, that was probably one of the worst ones we've gotten in.
He's hurting. Usually the Akarami's come in pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like,
that was really unfortunate. And another thing is just a teaching rule for all those who are getting wild caught chameleons. And Ryan is doing something wrong right here in this video. Can anyone take a guess?
yeah, can anyone
I
take a guess?
Darcy, you know what it is?
Say it. Say
no
it.
gloves.
No
No fucking
glove.
gloves. You never do this with wild caught. See,
Yeah.
this is what happens when you get excited and you want to be a fucking YouTube star. You start doing idiotic shit like this, guys. Whenever you handle a wild caught animal, don't always wear gloves, dude. You can get like a bunch of parasites on them, and you really want to bring that shit back home and ruin your pets? Hell
Well,
no.
it could be from fungal to bacteria to fungal to sorry, parasite.
Back to fungal.
You
Back
are a
to
fungal.
You really don't. You don't want that on your skin, and you especially don't want that going in your colony.
Dude, so okay, I gotta ask, man, did this like wild caught like ever actually like survive? I can't remember the story behind it. That thing does not look at that, bro. It looks
So we actually kept it alive for about 6 months, and he was going up and down. But I think from when he got imported, his kidneys were impacted so hard that he never really could bounce back. And I was so careful about medicating him because of his condition that he was in. I didn't want the kidney condition to get any worse. So yeah, no, it was really rough. A few times Ryan, you remember, I was like, yeah, dude, he's going to make it. He's going to make it. But no, unfortunately, he did not.
yeah, so you actually had another Ankarami here recently. I think you were showing me while I was there for the Reptile Super Show. Did that thing ever make it either? I forgot about this part. This is where you were shaming me for opening up the box, not wearing gloves.
Yeah, that was when I was shaming you. Look at that shame finger, man. You know, I've
busted, bro.
No, Darcy was right. And Karamis, they come in a little rough. The last group that we got in had a bunch of roundworms under the skin, and obviously, if it's under the skin, then it is infested the body as well. And that's a really hard situation to be in to treat, because not only do you need to treat the animal internally, but you need to treat the animal externally, which actually requires removing the skin.
Now I'm wearing gloves.
There you go. See, you listen to me, man. The shame's work. Removing the worms right under the skin layer physically, and then treating the body internally with a dewormer. And you got to take baby steps. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I can almost like sense how the animal's feeling, understand what steps to take. This has taken me many, many years to get good at. But even with those skills, I mean, some animals just they're just not going to make it from the beginning. Some animals come in during a drought, or not the rainy season in Madagascar. Some just have a really hard time dealing with the stress of the export. It's a really, really crappy side of the whole experience. But there's pros and cons of this whole thing. So
I got a question real quick, since we're talking about all the bull crap they go through. So like, how long do you think it is when they first catch them, put them in the bags, ship them overseas to this? How long do you think that process is, dude? Because like, if you go back and look at this Ankarami, dude, it looks like it hasn't had water in like weeks, dude.
Yeah, it's a few days. And it all depends on when the collectors get the animals. Sometimes they get it right before the export. Sometimes they get it and then they're kept in a holding facility, and then they're exported out. That's a lot of stress on its own too. A few days, unfortunately.
Yeah. So okay, let's.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's longer than a few days.
Okay, I want to see, what was the next animal. Okay. Oh, and then you got a Sambava over here.
Hey,
okay, guys, look at this. So if you look at this Sambava here, look at those eyes, dude. This one actually came in really nice for a wild caught, especially. Like, the eyes are nice over here. It doesn't look like just straight dog crap. It actually looks like it ate too.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. You know how I just said yesterday I had 3 more clutches hatch on me today? He's siring. He's the sire to one of them. I paired him up to the genie cross Khal Drogo female. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tell me, what was this one again? Is it the elephant ear, the Dumbo-looking chameleon?
So I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it is a type of elephant ear chameleon. It's a Malthae. It's spelled Malthe. I was never good in English class, but that's what I call them, Malthaes. Some people call them mouse or something like that. But that was probably one of my favorite ones in that unboxing. And it came in gravid, and we had a customer purchase her and laid a group of eggs for him, and he was like over the moon excited about his experience.
Well, yeah, I totally hope that thing hatches. I mean, look at that. Look at this little chameleon. It looks like a little diva right here with like some of that bluish like eyeshadow, and like, you know, it got her like hair dyed green like some kind of 80s goth girl or something like that. But, you know, like this chameleon didn't look like it came in too underweight. I mean, you could see a little bit of bones here. You could definitely see it on the tail right here. But you could definitely tell she got like shoveled around. Like, see that black tip on her nose and like all this blacking right here, guys. This is all like bruising, you know. Sometimes when you get a chameleon, they'll have like a little bit of bruising around their noses and stuff like that. It's usually from the shipping, whatever. But
they bruise very easily.
Yeah, they really do.
And it goes away in like a day or so, 2 days. It even happens with, you know, captive bred chameleons as well.
Oh yeah, it goes away real quick. Some people like thinking, oh, this chameleon came damaged. Just like, relax. You know, other reptiles do it too. They come in a little bit bruised. Especially around the back of her neck that looks bruised right there.
No, that's not. That's part of her pattern.
No. Mm-hmm.
You know what? Shut up. Let me be right, bro. She's bruised, dude.
You're bruised.
All right. And what was this one again? Oh, yeah. This one.
Male. That's the male he was looking at.
Ooh, let me pause that right there. Let me see. But yeah, this male looks really cool. It got like this little Pinocchio nose right there. We go.
Yeah, the males will have that longer rostrum, as of most chameleons from Madagascar. You can usually tell a male from the rostrum. At least from my experience, probably like 50%, but I'm no professional. But yeah, most male chameleons from Madagascar have the rostrum. But man, he's not even really showing it right now, but that thing turned so bright, green and yellow. And what was wicked was you see those black stripes going, or like intertwined striping. So that is not bruising. That's actually part of his pattern. And it just looked like, it kind of looked like a city if you're in a plane looking down. If the city was green and the streets were black, it's just this wicked.
Yeah, and all the grays, like little buildings and stuff. Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from with that.
It's trippy.
So was that its max size? I couldn't remember.
No, they get a little bigger than that. I've gotten some in that are larger.
All right, let's see. What are you digging in the trash for now? That last one came in beautiful, but look at this one, dude. See, like,
so that's a whole different species. So the last one was Kaluma Malthae. This is Kaluma
something.
Brevicorn.
Yeah, there we go.
I like brevicorn because the males, they get orange in them. They fire up very beautiful.
Yeah, yellow, orange. There's a video on our Instagram of a breeding video of that exact male head bobbing and flapping its ears at a female, and they ended up locking up and gave some of our customers some awesome eggs. It was a great experience.
Yeah, call me a dick, but I don't think that one's very pretty. Maybe
no,
it's
you have
it's
to
like
see it
super
fired up. You're gonna eat your words,
bro.
I probably will. I haven't watched this video in forever. Maybe that's a female.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like dog crap.
He's about to shed, and yeah, I mean they're stressed out.
Yeah, it happens. Like, see, this is kind of the reason why we're like showing this video to you guys, is because we want to actually show you, like, hey, this is what wild caughts really end up looking like when they come in. They don't look very good. Usually the sunken eyes, skinny, all that. Oh, what were these against? The bear?
No, those were two.
House letting.
So
House letting.
That's what you pronounce. Wait, what is it? It's a French name, so they're like
Ousletty.
Ouslet. Something like that. Yeah.
Ouslet or Ousletty or.
What I call them ouslets. Also known as the Madagascar giant chameleon.
Spiny.
No, Spiny is a different.
No, I'm sorry.
Now I wish these guys would get color though. This is like their actual color. Like I remember at the Reptile Super Show, Chameleon House actually brought one of these guys to the show.
That was the biggest one I've ever seen.
That thing was massive, bro.
It was as big as one of the Parsons we had on display.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he was showing colors. That one had a lot more white.
Mm-hmm. That was the most white I've ever seen on one, though.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we got some more over here. Oh, and here's the little dudes. First for lateralis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Oh, dude, guys, so this right here.
That's a carpet.
Carpet. A lot of people love these kind of chameleons right now. Like, so these chameleons are really like coming up. Like, see, check out the female right here. Like,
yeah, we were talking about it in the last live.
Were we? But yeah, dude. I mean, look at all the purple and oranges, dude. I just absolutely love that crap. She looks nice, dude.
It literally looks like, a piece of tapestry.
Yeah. And this one came in really healthy looking right here.
Yep.
I mean, like, really nice.
Carpets are so hard to establish in captivity, though.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a male, I believe.
Yeah, and the males are just pretty much primarily green, from my memory.
Actually, it all depends on the locality. Like, I have one right now that's almost as colorful as the female. Because it's like almost white body, but it also has all the other colors going on. So those, I believe, are Bodegari, common name blue nose chameleon, and those are adults, which is so cool.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think I am going to fast forward a bit through this video because I'm kind of realizing if we went through like every single animal, it would take forever. Yeah. So let's go through. Those are cool. The Bifidus. Let's do the Parsons last, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the show.
That sounds great.
All right. Stupid drum roll right there.
Dude, I'm a drummer.
Okay, so I can't remember these parts. I remember her. She didn't come in so bad looking, actually. Just a little bit sucking eyes.
Her eyes.
Oh, but right here, see, guys, if you look right here around the mouth, like the tip of it right there, that's actually like rubbing from like the sacs for days on. You will find a lot of like animals actually like with a bunch of nose rubs like that. So that is one way you can tell they've been in the bags for a while.
Or that they're wild caught in general.
Or, yeah.
Definitely. Some people it shows they sell wild caught panthers or stuff as captive bred. And there's a pretty quick and easy way to tell if they're wild caught. If you really want to know, give them a fecal test. That was crazy that Parsons fed like that day.
He's like, finally.
He's
like food for my hometown.
I'm kind of curious. So what is that? What are wild caught Parsons going for nowadays?
Anywhere from 2,500 to 4,000. All depends on, how it looks, how it comes in, the size, the type. They have orange eye, yellow giant, white lip, yellow lip, and some other ones that we don't even really have described here in America. And yeah, age, size. I mean, the big one that I have, Moose, the YouTube video. That thing was, oh my gosh, and he's so healthy. So I'm asking a little more for that guy.
Yeah, but, I don't blame you. Moose was really nice.
It all depends.
But okay, I think we're gonna end this reliving the video here.
Let's end it.
Okay, so guys, what we wanted to talk about next, like the actual like truth of what it really like takes in for these chameleons to like get over here in America. So like, when people make their quotas for these, they probably have like a bunch of little kids or like just like the villagers like going in and like going up to these like chameleons in the trees, literally hitting them with sticks, knocking them down, and just putting them in sacks. And like they probably could like keep them. They probably keep them in what are those, like little chicken wire cages for like a few days before they ship them out or something like that, Mitch?
Yeah, who knows?
When they collect them, they put like all of them in like one bag. Like then they just pick them up and sell a whole bunch in a bag together. I
hate talking about this. I really do. I feel so bad, but I'm glad we are because it's important.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, it's like, okay, actually on that video recently, someone actually like commented on was like, hey, isn't this like the same stuff they do where like kids are literally knocking them out of trees? Basically what I said a moment ago. Not to be shady, but it sounds like that. I'm like, honestly, bro, this isn't really news. This is actually how like almost like all the animals are really collected from the wild to get over to like to the country and stuff like that. I mean, you're literally capturing wild animals, throw them in a sack or a box, and then just shipping them over.
Yeah, which is it's pretty effed up. But there are also positive things behind all of this. In the 80s, Australia banned export of the bearded dragon. But so actually, that's not really a good example, but just to kind of give a broad example, keepers in America were mainly getting wild caught lizards as pets. And what was great about the bearded dragon is they're a really prolific lizard. We had them in the States, we bred them, we started producing them, started selling them in pet shops, and it actually brought down the and those were the lizards that people were getting. And that actually brought down the numbers of inexperienced people that just want lizards in their home, of getting random lizards that aren't going to do good in captivity, and they have a nice captive bred healthy bearded dragon. So there is some pros and cons to this. Like if we didn't bring the bearded dragons in, I mean, or produce them the way we did and sell them the way we are in today, who knows, we'd still be getting all these random lizards. And it's what it really comes down to is the animals that are in regions that are being threatened. Like, yo, what's up, bro? Long shot. And in these regions like Madagascar, they're in trouble. It's such a beautiful island off the coast of Africa. It's probably one of the world's best examples of evolution. And unfortunately, the island itself isn't doing
It's not doing well at all, man.
not
Like
doing
right now,
well.
so
The government's corrupt. They don't have a lot of money there, and what's happening is a lot of different forests that are not protected are being sold to like China, being chopped down and replanted with like trees that work good for building houses and stuff like that. So we literally have rainforests getting completely destroyed in Madagascar. There is so much pollution. There is there's pollution, deforestation, and just things that are making these animals go on decline. And one thing that has you could see in other with other species that have almost gone extinct, if not have gone extinct. The only reason why they're not is because of captive bred breeding of that species. So, for example, like I remember, like I don't know, probably like 7 years ago, I got a panther chameleon, and he came from a guy who somehow I was only babysitting it for breeding, but somehow he like got it like in the I don't know early 2000s, and he brought it back in his shoe. I don't even know freaking how. And
shoot, what the hell, dude?
yeah, I don't know. Obviously illegal, but crazy thing about this is that forest does not exist anymore. So when he shows me this chameleon, which was like a yellow green bodied red bar, it was kind of like a mix of like like a Sambava and I don't know, like an antelope. He pointed at the region on a map to me, and he said that place does not exist anymore. So literally, that locality is gone. And there's a bunch of other localities, a bunch of other species that don't exist because of the overpopulation, deforestation, and pollution that is going on. So
Yeah,
yes, there are all these negative sides to this. I wish there was something we could do better on our end, but really, when we get these animals in, we sell them as breeding pairs. We make sure we sell them to the right people. We make sure that there's more potential energy that's going to go into it rather than just someone wanting exotic chameleon from Madagascar. And the goal is to get these established in captivity and breed our own here, so that we won't even so there won't be as high of a demand to get wild caughts in because we'll have them established here. And in case anything does happen in Madagascar, we're saving the species to some degree. And I'm not trying to justify it. Like it's important what we do if it's done right. And what we really try to do when we're getting imports in is, we try to get the healthiest, the best of the best, so that, we can be more successful with this. You got to be very careful where you buy your wild caughts from. I remember when I was a lot younger, I bought like 20, wild caught panther chameleons because I was told Madagascar was being shut down, no more exportation.
Oh yeah, I think I heard something about that. Like
I
Yeah,
hear
3
that
years
like
ago.
every year.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Now they're saying it again this year. I kind of believe that it's close, but and those chameleons were in so rough shape. I had an anxiety attack every day, every second, every minute for the next like 3 months until we got them back healthy and sold. And sometimes they didn't even make it, unfortunately. And I put a 30-day guarantee on those animals. That didn't help my business at all.
Yeah, dude. So I think I was hearing something back, like overall on a survey, or not a survey, but just like statistics, is that like usually like 50% of animals, especially chameleons, only about half of them make it through the import. So literally, we're probably capturing like what, thousands of animals every or reptiles every few months, every season, then shipping them over, and like what, only like 300, 500 of them make it really throughout the whole country. It
And
really, it really does kind of suck, man.
keep in mind, we're only one country. There's a lot
Right,
of
dude?
countries that get imports as well.
Yeah, and you got to think about it like these from like these little I don't know if Madagascar's a third world country, but from these third world countries, dude, a lot of these countries are so poor that like, dude, they will do pretty much anything to make like a dollar, dude, even from destroying the habitat, the animals and stuff like that, like pretty much virtually anything, especially tourists, dude. Like, dude, if a tourist, I think I was watching this video a while back with like dart frogs, like on this documentary with like Red Frog Beach. It's an island for a specific locale of dart frogs. The kids would go up to the tourists and it's like, hey, you need to give me like $5 for this frog. And the guy was like, no, I didn't ask to see the frog. And he was like, if you don't give me $5 right now, I'm going to kill the frog. Like, dude, it really gets to that kind of shit in these like third world countries. Like, dude, isn't that messed up, dude?
Completely.
Kids threaten to kill animals for money if they don't get the money, dude. It's like, dude. So the guy just like forked it over, was like, here, and just let the frog go. It's like, damn, dude.
Well, yeah, that dart frog is going to be freaking hella poisonous too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's from the wild. They're eating those bugs
or whatever.
Poison.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, it is kind of sad what happens to these animals in the country.
Yeah, it makes me feel terrible. But there's always going to be people doing it, and I'd rather be the person who actually really cares and loves these animals and gives it my all to try to make sure they have a successful experience in captivity. And I'm not, it's not 100% every time, but there's some people that just get them in, stick them in a cage with one stick going across, and it's effed up.
I think do you remember a few years back in the chameleon like Facebook groups where they would like show pictures of like, hey, not all these chameleons are actually like wild caught, they're actually farm bred. I swear I've never seen something like that, dude.
So
yeah.
So what I figured out what was going on is that so how there's a pretty massive population of wild caught panther chameleons, which is so fascinating. We should talk about that on another stream. But they were actually slipping those in to the imports and selling them, these hybrid localities. And they probably pay next to nothing for the Florida wild caughts because they're just plucking it right in their backyard.
Yeah.
And making maximum money on it, and you're not even getting a true locality. For me, when I get wild caught panther chameleons, I need to make sure it's that locale so we could breed these locales, keep them, strong. If anyone didn't know, we do a lot of designer hybrids, but I do not do the hybridization of the cross of the two locales, 5 locales, whatever, until I have perfected the locale itself. So, if nosy Mitzios, do you ever see those anymore, Ryan?
No.
Darcy? Yeah. So I started that breeding project about, I'd say 7 years ago as well. I thought it was going to explode, this and that, but I don't know, it's such a hard locality to get established, and maybe it's because it comes from an island. Maybe they require slightly different temps. I know that about Nosy Folly, but if we were not importing nosy Mitzios or importing them from like Europe or something like that, our bloodlines here in America would die, because you can't breed brothers and sisters, you can't breed related ones. My theory is that since they're on an island, there's already a high chance of them line breeding just naturally, making the gene pools weaker. And yeah, you need unrelated stuff, like in terms of Mitzios, to keep that going. And they're my favorite panther chameleon, and they're so freaking rare. But yeah, that's just another thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so real quick, I wanted to bring it up before I forget it. So guys, you know how he was talking about how like sometimes they would like send us hybrids and stuff like that. So here's the thing, dude. So these exporters, they know that if they keep meeting our supply and demand and exactly want what we want, because they know we need these bloodlines for new projects and stuff to keep the gene pool healthy. They know that, but if they were to keep doing that properly, then they realize that like, oh hey, they don't really need us anymore, so like what can we do? Let's start slipping this and labeling it that, mixing it up, it's like when a bad drug deal goes wrong kind of thing, like you get skimped or they put like some sugar in it, it's kind of like that with these chameleons of their locales, like dude.
it's more than that. Some of the collectors or the exporters don't even care what they are. They just put them in a bag, or they literally get mixed up, or they all get put in a holding cage, and then oh, this one's Simbaba, this one's Nosy Bay, this one's that, and if they're all fired down or stressed out, you're not going to see what they really are. So
Yeah, they all look alike, dude.
There's a high chance of mixing.
Yeah, so okay, now that we talked about like
or
some of the
whatever popular during the time.
Yeah, popularity, absolutely.
Yeah. So now that we're talking a little bit of like what kind of really happens, like with getting them over and like some of the messed up shit they do, I kind of wanted to get into like be more behind the scenes of like actually working with them, like getting them back to health and like from a business standpoint, like how does this work with you for wild caught chameleons? But let's go with how you like acclimate them and stuff like that first.
Totally. So one thing that we like to do in terms of acclimation is, one, we bring them in during a season where they're going to thrive. So from my experience, since I live in Southern California, natural sunshine is like everything to a wild-caught chameleon. When you take an animal out of the wild, it gets stressed out, and then you put it in a cage with lights over it, trust me, it's not going to have the same impact as getting it in a large cage outside, very planted, a lot of water, and getting the natural kind of environment that they had. So the main thing, bottom line, is husbandry. You want to try to get him as comfortable as possible, because if you have other stressors going on, then the acclimation process, treatment process is not going to go well. Hydration, like you saw in that Ankarami, was very dehydrated. That one was really bad, but you want to hydrate them a lot, because until you start medicating the animal, and we start with homeopathic medicine before we go to like a dewormer, because easier on the body. Before you do that, you want to make sure that they are hydrated. So hydrate the chameleon, set them up in the best place possible. Outside for us is like the key. Darcy, do you have anything to add on like the first beginning steps? Or do you want me to keep going? Okay.
I don't think she can hear us, can
maybe
she?
she can't hear us. And let's see. Getting them set up, and then making sure they're eating. Sometimes if they're not drinking as much as I like to stimulate them with some vitamins and minerals.
So what kind of vitamins? Like bee pollen, or like is there like so look, okay, when it comes to treatments, so like I know isn't there like a standard one everyone does, like Panicure right off the bat, and like isn't that like the main one?
Yeah, so yeah, Panicure. But I don't do that right off the bat because I like to take time to understand the animal's needs before I start treating them with somewhat of a heavy drug that literally rids the body of these worms. People also have to keep in mind that when you're panicuring a wild-caught chameleon or any animal for that matter, the worms die inside the body, and that I'm forgetting the word right now, but it's toxic. Frick, I'm forgetting the word.
They got a detox, but also real quick though, I don't think a lot of people know that this, but like, so when you guys really treat these animals with medications, the majority of these medications that are to get rid of the parasites are actually pretty damn harsh on the animal. So if you were to do it like pretty much right away, right after the animal gets in from a shipment, no hydration, no feeding it, or any of that kind of stuff,
Kidney
all
failure.
you're kind of you're making it, you're kind of setting it up for a death sentence, dude. You're really just setting it up for kidney failures and like, dude, wild caught animals. So the more stressed out they are, the more these parasites just kind of explode and bloom out there, guys.
Yeah, weaker immune system gives the parasite a better handle on taking over. And then this leads us to another topic we're talking about. So, do you think I had all this experience, knowledge, and understanding these animals when I first started? Absolutely not.
No.
And do you know what everyone was saying on the online forums and stuff? You got to start your own bloodlines. You got to get, an unrelated wild caught pair. You got to do it yourself. That's how you're going to stand out. That's how you're going to be successful. Man, if I hopped right on wild caught imports, man, I'd be so set back right now. It's crazy. And, I really, even me, like, I don't like getting wild caughts in unless we have to. Let's talk in terms of my panther chameleon business. Unless I really, really, really have to, like with a nosy Mitsio, for example. Because, one, like, you're going to have like a 50% success rate. Two, they're riddled with bacteria and stuff like that. If you get that mix in your colony in any way, shape, or form, you're in freaking trouble. We're talking about microscopic things that'll take out a whole colony, like in a week. So, and that's what just bothers me so much now. Like, there's all this hype about like people when they're first getting into it to establish their own lines, which means getting wild caughts. And I do not think it's for the beginner. I even, paranoid freaked out about it. Like, it's for really experienced people who are properly set up for it,
Yeah, dude. And like, dude, I remember like, what was it in 2020? Like when Chameleon Culture Club, that Facebook group was going on, dude. Like, seriously, like I remember being like group chats with like the admins and other breeders, and it was just like, literally, dude, it was kind of pathetic, dude. This is one thing I really hate about the chameleon community. It was just because of that fucking bullying kind of shit that was going on, dude. Like, literally, I remember being in the group. It's like, oh, well, you didn't like produce onyx, whatever. Why don't you get some more wild caughts in? Oh, yeah, camouflage in your bloodlines, bro. Like, dude, you get really roasted for that kind of crap, dude. And it was just ridiculous, dude. Like, it's just like, I don't know why it was like, dude, even then, I wasn't even like an expert, but like, I'll be honest, One World Exotica, I remember in 2020, he had a holding deposit for whatever locale you wanted. I put 150 down, right? And there was a bunch of delays of like the shipments come in. Oh, like COVID is delaying it back. Fine, whatever. I think about 10 months later, oh, you can get your Abonja now. Would you still like it? Blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I didn't even respond to him. I was like, dude, I'll just eat the $150 because it was non-refundable, right? Makes sense. And I was just like, dude, I don't care, dude. It's $150, but realistically, at the end of the day, I just didn't want to work with wild caughts. Like, dude, I was like kind of like, I just don't really care for like proving out a bloodline. It was just kind of like that thing back then when I wanted to be a cool chameleon breeder and fit in with everyone, start my own bloodlines, And like, so I was just like, after that phase is over, I was like, I don't really need this, dude. I don't really want to breed chameleons on a big scale like that either,
And it takes so many months, if not years, to prove out a bloodline, to prove out a female.
Oh yeah, dude.
Prove out a female panther chameleon, which all female panther chameleons look the same essentially, except for like a few hidden hints here and there. Yeah, that's a lot of proving out to do.
Okay, real quick though. So since you're talking about proving out, so guys, just in case y'all don't know, you know my mascot. You could probably see him in this. Let me see. I'm gonna try to. Okay, he's on the back banner right there somewhere. But that red and white chameleon, my legendary onyx, that actually came from Mitch, guys. And so that animal was actually captive hatched, meaning that the female came in gravid, pregnant, and then the eggs are laid, and then they eventually hatched. Since we're talking about proving out, how long did it take you to prove out that Cap S clutch? That's what I want to know. We've never really talked about that before.
Yeah. Obviously, during this time that I had him, I was doing a ton of research, seeing what Cap S looked like from ages from 3 months all the way to like 6, 7 months. But I didn't even, I got excited like, oh, these are really looking like Cap S and all that. But I didn't really ever confirm that they were true Cap S until like 6, 7 months old when I sold them to you. And the thing is that's a long time if you don't have like money set aside or income to support your chameleon hobby or breeding project. Like, when people understand, they're expensive. Like, keep in mind, you're taking care of these things every single day, and then it's just a lot of work to prove them out, which was great. I was able to sell you onyx, and so we got two wild caught females in. They both laid clutches, and I sold you one from each. And dude, you created some of the best freaking Cap S in America, hands freaking down. No, they proved out, but we took the steps. It took about 6 or 7 months, in order to sell you the female. I had to prove out the males. It was cool because they were pretty unique and different Cap S, but they had all the traits.
Yeah, Onyx just came out looking like, dude, he just came out looking like a straight captive bred. Like, when he fires up, it literally is just like, bam. He's literally that white and red in person, guys. Yeah. But so I kind of wanted to go back a little bit on the social media influence, like, even with the title and stuff, and like Cap S, like, dude, like, some people label me as the Cap S king, dude, but like, honestly, that doesn't really mean dog shit to me, dude. Like, so people are like, why do we get more like, why do you just import some more wild caught like Cap S? So it's just like, honestly, I don't really care for the title, dude. Like, I don't know. It's just like, what's the point, dude? I don't really care to be like some big badass breeder, dude. I don't really get the egos of that, especially within the chameleon community, that you have to be the best of the best. And like, don't get me wrong, you can always take pride in your work. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I totally take pride with the Onyx line, I'm not going to take the claim for that, but I take pride in working with that and keeping it going, dude. But just like, I just don't care for the wild caught thing, dude. It's just not my thing. Like, so this is kind of brings up to my next point that I wanted to get to. Let's talk about failures. I just wanted to say real quick from my experience, I actually had a breakout one time, flageolets. You've heard of that before, right? Yeah, I got this captive bred Ambulobi, I think from like Caesar years ago. Looked fine, whatever. And then like about a couple months later, he just started getting skinny and skinnier, kept eating and eating. And I was like, dude, his poop smells really bad. Just started looking really runny. And I was just like, dude, you look like you're just like doing drugs and losing weight, dude, but you're eating like a shit. No, literally, I would just feed him, power feeding every day, like to a point where like it wouldn't be healthy. He wasn't gaining weight. And like, I took him to the vet, and I were just like, dude, I think this chameleon has parasites. Something's wrong with him. He's not gaining weight. Blah, blah. The poop smells like this, that. And the chick was like, why don't you become a vet? And I was like, dude, I don't want to become a vet. I don't want to work with sick animals. I'm upset already with my animal. This is not something I wanted to do. But yeah, then she said she had flageolets, or he had flageolets, whatever. I forget what that medicine was. Metrodin, for flagell. Yeah. It's a medication for that. And like, dude, I was trying to treat it, right? And I think I was keeping chameleons for like 2.5 years then. Kept trying to treat it. And like, dude, he declined. And like, I think like after a month and a half, he just died. And like, I learned how to do my own fecal checks after that. And like, it just never went away, dude. And it's just like, I don't know, ever since like that happened, dude, I was really upset. And just like, kind of like, when the big hype of working wild caughts kind of brought me back to that moment. I was just like, dude, I don't want to deal with this, bro. I care about my animals. I just don't care for the title. I'm more of a pet keeper than fucking wannabe cool ass breeder. I don't care for that title. Let someone else take the crown for that.
Also, I've noticed that once ego starts getting involved and you start doing things to get ego strokes, for some reason that's when things start going south. You know, because you're doing things for the wrong reasons, and that's I feel probably 500,000 times better being out of most of those Facebook groups, because you know this was social media. What do you do when you post something? You're excited about getting likes. You're excited about comments. You're excited about interactions. It's like
Vanity metrics.
yes, that, and you know it's like it kind of gets to your head, you know. And I remember that's kind of all I cared about. Like 5 years ago was just like being popular, being the very best or whatever, you know. And that literally took time away from me working hard and working on myself and working on this business, and the amount of intense arguments or shitty things that I've gotten into with people like on those groups, like, you know, people who think they know everything, people who only do it this way, the radicals, this and that. And you know what? It's like, it's sometimes it's just a joke. You know, there are multiple ways of raising a chameleon. It just
Yeah, no, I get it. So I kind of want to bring up Jonathan Hill in the comments real quick. So I remember, like, dude, okay, this is kind of more towards the ego thing. Like, you know, Jonathan Hill, yellow body, blue bar king, hands down. Let's leave it like that. Let that tingle you, John. But you know, I remember, dude. Okay, so I'll be honest, John. Like, a lot of people would like kind of say things behind your back. Oh, he didn't. You add a wild caught in. It has cameras. He's just doing yellow body, blue bar. I roasted you a little bit about that. But like, no, a lot of people would literally say, "Oh, yeah, his animals are nice, but they're not. They don't have wild caught pool in it." And like, dude, so what,
like,
dude? So what, dude? You're just mad because his yellow body blue bars are better than yours, but he did have wild caught.
Yeah, so this is where that comes from. They're jealous that he's producing so much fire, so they just needed to find a way to get at him, you know.
Yeah, dude.
But no,
It's shit.
He produces some of the best yellow body blue bars in America. That's a fact.
Yeah. Okay, enough giving him the reach around through the comments. But okay, back to what I wanted to get to. Let's talk about your failures working with Wildcard. You know, I explained a little bit of mine. I just kind of want to go behind the good, the bad, the ugly, and just the truth. Like, tell me like some of your worst stories, man. And it's okay, dude. This is a learning experience for some of us, dude. You know, we're not here to judge you.
No, of course. Well, I mean, I literally would get, and Darcy can attest to this. I would, what's up, Darcy? You.
I don't think she can hear us. Maybe her microphone's not working.
Huh. Anyways, yeah. I don't know. The thing that traumatized me the most is like literally trauma, PTSD, because I put my whole life into this. I put my whole life into these animals. I care so much about my productions. You know, I dream about them. They're in my freaking dreams. And I think when I was a noob back in the day and I started doing the wild caught imports, you know, I wasn't careful with cross contamination in the very beginning. And, you know, it took out so many of my babies. And so much of my pride and joy, and literally made me so insane and paranoid about keeping the babies that I literally hired Darcy to do it because I couldn't do it anymore because it was too traumatizing. So yeah, Darcy, I don't know why your sound's not working or why we can't hear you, but it'd be great to hear your input.
Yeah.
Could she maybe leave and come back and then maybe it'll work?
Yeah, you can try to leave and come back, Darcy. It's on an open web browser. You got the link. But yeah, dude. So like, did you ever just end up with like an animal like dead out of the bag?
Yeah,
like an unboxing.
A DOA, yeah.
The DOA.
Yeah, that, you know, it's kind of weird. It's like I've been doing this for a long time, and it's kind of like unfortunate, and I don't want to say I've gotten used to it, but I haven't like. I can't, if I want to do this for a living, I can't have that emotional toll. Like I can't let everything impact me the way it used to when I was younger. or else I would be, you know, a miserable ball of poop.
Mhm.
But yeah, you know, it's gotten, yeah, I have gotten them in over time. You know, you just kind of,
Can you hear me now?
yeah.
Yeah, we
You,
can hear you, girl.
you want to say what you wanted to say earlier?
Oh,
Say
uh,
it.
it was too long ago. Oh, I was saying that one of the worst parts of boarding is like a lot of the time people haven't worked with the species and then you're trying to learn too and like do things and change things to make it and you don't have a lot of time to do that because you need to like make it perfect when upon arrival. So that's also hard.
Yeah, yeah, don't, yeah, like just like with any animal, do your research before. Talk to people who have worked with the species. Don't just get it and be like, oh, you know, we're keeping this one. But yeah, Darcy, I was talking about, you know, how traumatized I was with like the babies and stuff like that. Like, I mean, you can talk about it right now. Like, what was your main job?
Uh, all the babies because you didn't
Yeah.
want to look at them. And
Well, yeah,
it's like a lot of because they're so small
they're so
and
small
like they're a lot
sometimes,
of work. And it's
and
like if things go wrong, they don't have any body fat. You don't have like a baby chameleon. You can't like basically treat it a hatchling. It's like it's very frustrating and yeah, it's
so
very stressful.
So, you know, I focus on preventing that from ever happening again. But I was traumatized for many years, and thanks to Darcy, she really helped. You know, one, the business was growing at, you know, exponential rate, but she really helped me, you know, with it, because all my experiences with not doing, maybe in the beginning, the wild caught imports right, it really did traumatize me. And yeah, but you know, it's with life. You live and you learn. You try to get better and better and stronger at everything you do.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I mean, this whole entire thing working with animals ain't for the faint heart, dude. You know, like, dude, it's not, dude. If you can't handle like a little bit of death with like a hatchling baby, then this kind of thing is not for you, dude. I mean, I can't even imagine like working with like a fucking wild caught, like as on an import, actually, a wild caught import, having like, dude, what you get like 40 animals during that video we were showing earlier. Jesus, that must have been so stressful. I can imagine your parasite load just exploding within you from that stress. But but since we're talking about parasites over here, Mitch actually sent me some juicy shit that I'm sure you guys would love to see. That really what happens behind the scenes. All right, let me
Darcy,
pull up
did
my
you want to
screen
say
share
something?
here. So
Oh
okay,
yeah, I haven't seen it, I don't think.
let me see this. All right, I'm gonna play this from my Facebook Messenger. There's no sound on, so just kind of let's just kind of go over it and like narrate to us, Mitch.
So, guys, right now I just have made a small incision on the side of this female Encarami panther chameleon, and I am pulling out a worm, a nice parasite. This is what wild caught chameleons can come in with. This is what I'm talking about. You do not want to get introduced into your colony. This is disgusting.
Yeah, dude. Ugh.
And look, it's moving.
Mm.
What is that thing called again?
So I forgot the exact name, but it's a type of roundworm, like a nematode or something. If I'm getting this wrong, like John is probably laughing at me so hard.
Yeah,
But
you nerd.
yeah, from my understanding, these can get spread by contact, but mainly um, mosquitoes in Madagascar. What they'll do is they'll suck the blood of an animal that has these things, and there'll be eggs in the bloodstream, and then they'll go and then they'll suck another animal's blood, and you know the eggs will go in the body, but also they can be in like non-sterile pools of water. You know, you got to understand, like like we're humans, we're all clean and like all this, but parasites are everywhere in the wild. Um, yeah, saw your Facebook.
Stockbook.
And yeah, so that's like, I mean, I was like cringing too when I haven't needed to do that in so long, but yeah, that She came in very healthy too. That you cannot treat internally. You have to take them out externally.
You're like, dude, have you ever found it like in the eye, like in the eye caps or anything like that?
Not personally, but Darcy, I think you said you have a friend that had like it was a female bifidus that it was in its eye or something like that.
Mm,
No.
I don't think it was. Was it in his eye? I was talking. I don't know where it was.
Yeah. Anyways, but they could be everywhere. You know, if there's a few on the skin, then they're in the lungs, they're in the organs, they're. Oh man, it makes me feel queasy thinking about it. But
So, I was thinking about this a moment ago. Like, dude, when it comes to these like parasite things, dude. So, like, I realize this with actual importers. Like people, obviously, it's a good idea to nurture them, acclimate them back to health for a little while, keep them for like 30 to 60 days, whatever your rules are, right? But a lot of people think that even once these animals are acclimated by the importer, that they're completely parasite free, and that's just kind of not a good way to think, guys. You got to think about it, dude. For like these importers, like Mitch working with them, dude. Yes, it's always they all do their initial rounds, dude. But you got to think, try to keep them for months and months and months on end and make sure every single one's clean, dude. That's not gonna happen, dude. And that's not on the importers. Like that's not on them. They're
it's
working with what it's. Do you get what I'm trying to say though? Like, yes, you guys do the initial round. It's your job to make sure they're healthy. Try to give them a little bit of a load pushed back down, but it's not your full on job to get them like 100 straight clean, dude.
So it's a case by case basis. You know, some come from regions where they're riddled with these things. Some come in really clean. Fecal tests, that's a good way to really know if the animal's doing good. But the thing with a fecal test, I believe, yeah. You got to understand a parasite cycle. Like that was the last evolution of this parasite. But there's also eggs. Eggs take, depending on the parasite, take a certain number of days, almost weeks to hatch. So you might panicure an animal, kill all the worms, but what you don't impact are the eggs. Those can
Facts, dude.
hatch 3 weeks, however long it is, 3 weeks, 2 weeks to a month later, and you're going at it again. It's really not. It's not an easy process. So I give big props to people that take this very seriously and work on it. It's a lot. It definitely is a lot.
Yeah, dude. And like, guys, so like one of the worst like parasites that I've ever heard about is coccidia, dude. I am so glad I have not yet to deal with it. Probably will one day.
It's kind of like a silent but deadly fart.
But yeah, so like I hear like guys, so like like coccidia, I hear that if even like after they poop, okay, so guys, when the animal poops, there's still parasites all in that poop, and they can like hang out in the cage, whatever, the soil, contaminate other things that touch it. But the reason why coccidia is one of the worst, dude, even the eggs will hatch in the poop, and from what I'm told, they can last 6 months on a hard surface. And like I was told that only the medication can cure them in the animal. And even then, I think ammonia is like the only real thing that really kills them on a hard surface.
So really quickly, that's a lot of talk that would be in the Facebook groups.
And that's where I learned about it.
Yeah, exactly. And and everyone was just like, yeah, that's the only way, this, that, it literally scared the living shit out of me. But it is probably the worst thing you can, it's a deadly thing to have in your colony, especially if the numbers get high, but it's easy to take care of. And maybe not when you're infected with it already, but like sterility. With captive bred, wild caught, which no matter what, you always keep separate, but sterilization, always wearing gloves. Like, I mean, I can't tell you we use Simple Green, we use a watered down bleach solution. We let the cages sit outside in the sun for days before an animal is put back into it. But there are. It's not just that one way to kill it. There are many ways. But I know what you're talking about. I learned that too in the Facebook groups back in the day, and I was like, well, what the frick am I gonna do? Like, I'm screwed. But no, really, like, I stepped up my sterilization game. I stepped up my process in doing things, and I don't know. I haven't had a coccidia outbreak in like 2 years, and that came in from someone who I bought Chameleons off of that bred my two lines together. So I really wanted the bloodlines, but you never know. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, that sucks. And like also I wanted to bring up too, dude, like there's some parasites, dude, that actually aren't really so bad that people like just try to claim they're just absolutely terrible. Like I think honestly, in my opinion, pinworms. The little round pinworms, I don't think those are so bad as a parasite. They're pretty easy to get rid of. I forget, dude. I remember I had one animal I did a examination with the vet. I think it was like 5-6 years ago now. Had pinworms. Easy treatment. I think it was gone within like a month or two. I can barely remember it, but also it's like one of those things, dude. Like a lot of these animals, I honestly believe a lot of these animals we even keep in captivity have some sort of parasite. Just one of them that we don't really care for. And like, dude, even humans, dude. Most of us probably have worms inside of us, like straight up.
hey, if you've ever eaten sushi, I guarantee you have a freaking fish parasite inside. Darcy,
Yeah.
you wanted to say something?
No.
Darby!
Okay, so now I kind of want to talk to you on a little bit of more serious note, and we don't have to get into numbers on this, dude, but I want to talk to you about. I think this is a juicy conversation part right here. Doing this as a business, though, honestly, like, so when I say it like that, I mean, what's easier to make money off of? Like I said, no numbers. Let's keep it professional on that, but what's easier to make money off of, wild caught or captive bred? And let's talk about it.
I would say, like, I hate people who think like people who import are making a lot of money because you're taking all the risk. There really isn't a lot of money in importing because you are taking all the risk and you have to hold on to them. And then like, yeah, and you have to like choose who you sell to, like experienced people. With like captive bred, you like know it front and back how your lines, like what you're selling, and it's healthy and it's way easier just to like to sell your own stuff and make the most. I don't know how, I guess, yeah, you would make the most money with captive bred, but it's not even like loads of money. Like people think when they breed, they're going to make X amount of money. It's never that dollar amount. I guarantee you're not going to make what you think.
No, right
At
now
all.
the market's crashing. I'm a little scared, guys. We have, I don't even want to talk about it. Wholesale. Anyone wants wholesale Panther Chameleons?
Shit. Well, I think to a certain degree, dude. I think some people make. What was his? Well, that big fat jabroni. Let's just say the big fat jabroni that was always importing, ball guy. Let's leave his name out of it, bro. I know his ass is making money off it, dude, because he would work like really close, to, like near, like he's probably like the second or third middleman between all that shipment stuff where the
I
animal
don't even
goes.
think so. Honestly, I don't think he was making too much money off of it.
He was still making a good. For him to do it, he was making it worth it. It was making it worth his time. But here's the thing: when I meant it, like I kind of see it like this, dude. There's some fucked up importers, right? There's some people who literally get the thing, keep it for a day or two. Oh, you're off to this pet store. You're off to this pet store. Those guys, come on, dude. Those ones are making money, especially if they're getting a crap load of animals, dude. And when you only have to hold on to it for that day or two, let's say in your backyard barn or something, and you don't really care about the parasites in your thing. When you do it shady, it's easy to make money when you're doing it shady, dude. I feel
when
like
you don't have a heart. Yeah, when you don't have the heart and love for like the species and you just see it as like, I don't know, money, and it's like, then you make money because you're not putting love into. Anytime you put your heart into something, it's not about the money. But yeah. I see what you.
But also, like, no, even aside from chameleons, dude, let's say Bolin's python, the holy grail of snakes, dude. Before they started raising the prices up on those, dude, think about it, dude. They were getting those things for probably like what, 4 or 5 G's, and they were selling for like 20K, 18K for a farm bred little baby, dude. Come on, that is some serious bank right there on just flipping a wild caught animal. And with something like that, dude, they probably just kept it back and they didn't really care because it didn't cost them too much to feed, Just think of it like that.
Yeah. So those so those are the direct importers. But the jabroni, or other people that we're talking about, that's a middleman, and they're still paying that money from. They're still paying what the exporter wants, and the exporter can basically put any price that they want on it. And who knows what that exporter is actually importing them for. So it gets all crazy. The exporter, the people in whatever country we're exporting from, if they see that the demand is high in America, for example, they'll have high prices. If the importer sees that there's a high demand, they know they can make more money off of it, so they raise their prices. And then, like the third party, or the middleman between the last person, which is the customer, they take the risk because they're holding on the animal until it sells. They need to treat it. They need to do all that. This is why I said that I don't think that person was making much money, because you are going to have animals pass away on you. You can't sell them for that much more. It all depends on the market. Hell, I've been sitting on in the other facility. I've been sitting on like 2 wild-caught panthers, and they haven't sold for 6 months. Now that's a true long-term captive chameleon that I would confidently sell to someone. But like no one wants them. There's so many captive bred ones, and I totally get it. So I only got them because they were supposed to come in as Tomatov, but one was like an Ambelobe.
You still have those?
Yeah, I still have
You haven't been there months now.
I'm like scared to sell them because I don't know.
No, I was there when he got them.
I don't know what to. I'm not gonna just make up a name because I really don't know what they are.
One's definitely looks like an Ambelobe. Was not a Tomatov at all.
It looks like an Ambelobe, but it's you never know.
Classic 2012 Ambelobe.
These were Florida sneak-ins. Honestly, that's what I want to think. But who knows? Who freaking knows?
They did come in really healthy though. But
there you go. So okay, I remember. Actually, I gotta ask you this, man. So how in the chameleon hobby or reptile hobby in general, people like to bash on flippers, and stuff like that. Not calling you one. But real quick, with importing, have people ever just bashed you down for just calling you a flipper with all these wild caught animals? And guys, at the end of the day, maybe you can say yes that it is actually flipping wild caught animals. That is part of the business. But remember this, guys: the ones who actually do take these animals and actually acclimate them, give them the first couple rounds of treatment, hold them on for a month or two. They get the right to flip them if they want to, dude. They do. But they still put the time to try to make that animal healthy. So but sometimes, dude, you still catch that heat though for it. Do you?
Yes, I do. And this should be the definition of a flipper. Someone who asks to buy an animal, gets all nice and personal with it, talks down the price, gets a low price on it, says I'm going to keep it forever, keeps it for 2 weeks, and then sells it for a lot more. That's a damn flipper. Okay, I think it's a little different with wild caught imports because we have a purpose for what we're doing. Yeah, I'll be real with you. There are downtimes for the panther chameleon market, and if I didn't have these other side things going, we wouldn't be making it here right now, for a fact. And if I want to keep, creating all these awesome creations for the people and doing this dream, there needs to be other sources of income. That's why I'm excited for YouTube and all that stuff when it happens. But I don't think taking the risk, holding on to these animals that are very fragile, using my 7 years of experience, give it my all, my love, my blood, sweat, and tears to make these things live. And then if it even gets to a point where it's ready for a new home, it might not be, and sell it, that I think that's a little different than flipping. But yeah, there's always going to be haters out there.
No, totally. I agree with you, but just at the end of the day, just the normal human mindset, just how we're naturally going to react when you hear someone buying an import and selling it for more money later. just a natural term that comes to mind is flipper. So, don't take it personal as I said that, but it's just, that's just how it is. Like, I used to think about that all the time, like for a while. And then it took me some time to figure out, like, hey, no, they get the right to flip, if you know what I'm saying. And, so I'm kind of curious, what kind of other reptiles have you gotten in from like imports sometimes? Like, I think you had like some Peter banded skanks and like crocodile monitors and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, we worked with a lot of cool
A
species.
lot.
A lot.
Like those zombie crabs, dude.
Yeah, those are wicked, man. Yeah, I mean, you said like the coolest ones, like the crocodile monitor.
Oh, those are the coolest ones. Okay.
Cayman lizard.
What? Oh yeah, caiman lizards. Those are radical. What else, Darcy? What are some of your favorites?
We've worked. I was gonna ask, like, just you and me too. Your favorite thing to import, or your favorite animal to import?
Yeah, what's yours?
Well, mine's helmeted chameleons because they're super cute and they give live birth too. So like, I have a heart for them. Just personally, I enjoy them a lot. And I like montane species. They're just hardier, and like I just always have a good time with
Really,
them.
montanes are hardy. I did not know that.
Well,
Yeah, because like
if you live in Southern California and you keep them outdoors, they do freaking phenomenal.
I think they like they hold fat more. Like they have more fat in their body and are healthier.
Point. A wild caught animal that has a higher metabolism in general is going to be a lot harder to stabilize than one that has a slower metabolism and doesn't, like, for example, like a stressed out wild caught panther chameleon is stressed out. It needs to eat to keep that body weight up. If it's stressed out for 3 or 4 days and doesn't eat, then that's going to start going downhill. But like a montane species, they don't have as fast of a metabolism. And yes, they might get stressed out, but they might be able to go like a week or so without eating, and then can get back on track. And that's why I said panther chameleons and carpets have been the hardest for me to work with in captivity. But my favorite thing I've ever imported was a Triceras cristatus, also known as a crested chameleon. You should pull it up because
I'm about to right now.
It's the coolest.
But the ones we had were good.
They were the best ones I've seen. They had like magma, like yellows and reds and stuff like
orange.
That. And orange.
Triceras what?
Just type in crested chameleon or crested. I was calling it the sailfin chameleon for the longest time.
Oh wait, I think I know what you're talking about. Like it has a crest going all along the. Oh no, it's not the same one, but this thing is pretty dope though. All right,
what's really cool about this specific, that one right there, that. So that is similar, but that doesn't really look anything like the one that we worked with. What's really cool about this species is they have like dots on their top of their skull that are literally neon, and I forgot the term for it. Oh, right there. That's similar to the one that we've gotten in. But scroll through them. I saw one with the blue dots, so you could show people.
Hold on. Let me hit back real quick, and I'll.
That right there. Look at those.
Yeah, dude.
It's like a rave.
It glows.
Shit, I need to go to a rave here soon.
Oh, dude, those days are past me, but I
can't be sober at a rave. No more.
No more.
No more. I just breed chameleons, guys.
Yeah, I'm just that guy, dude.
Yeah.
So, we've been talking about a lot of the negative things about importing throughout this episode. And, let's kind of just loosen up a little bit. Rub that knot out of your shoulder. Let's talk about like some more of the favorite things, kind of like we were doing the last few minutes. Let's talk about some things you really do like importing. And
so one thing that I've really liked is, we've gotten a good amount of pretty exotic, rare, sometimes unheard of chameleons in from Madagascar, and have sold them to people that are really serious about cultivating these guys in captivity. And now that I see these guys like on their second or third generation of this species in captivity, it's like so cool. It's like, I was part of that. Like, yeah. And that's the whole goal here. You know, another thing is being able to really see and understand the behaviors of these animals that you've only read in a book or seen in a fairy tale. You know, it's like, it's so cool. And the more we study them, the more we can understand them, the more success we can have with them in captivity. And I just wanted to say a third one if I can think of one. I'm not going to force it though, but and yeah, well, I guess it's like along the same lines. Like I've been like getting in you know, brevicorn for a long time. Those are the elephant-eared ones.
Mhm.
But I had never really seen them have a full-blown mating experience. And we sold a pair to some really good friends of ours. And it was so cool. They were all head bobbing and flapping and doing all this. And then they like hug each other and, you know.
Looking like they're doing some kind of like tribal dance, their little tiki torch dance or some bullshit like that.
It was beautiful. Nature is so phenomenal. And sometimes to be able to see it, you know, right here in California is freaking awesome.
Or your backyard. Like me, dude. Like, dude, you know, like I can't imagine like the joy you really get from like doing these imports. Yeah, I mean, there obviously are the stressful times, but dude, I remember when I first like came to hang out with you guys with like outside of like going to a reptile show and doing that import unboxing video, dude. Man, dude, I just felt like I opened up a good bag of drugs or something, dude. It was just that awesome, dude. Seeing Parsis for my very first time.
It's
you guys
like,
are all casual about it. I mean, you guys are excited, but like not as giddy as me. I was just like, man, this is so dope, dude. And like, dude, you got to think about it. Like to a lot of people, this is like the only way you're going to really see them, dude. The only times I ever see Parsons is when I'm with you, dude. And a lot of those weird species, like the angel eyes or the blue nose, whatever, those helmeted chameleons and all that stuff, dude. You just, I don't know, it just felt really magical because some of those species I'm probably only going to really see is when I'm with you, man.
Hey, man, that was the only time I've ever seen an angel eye was with you, man. Yeah, I haven't seen them
wanted one.
I haven't seen them on the list since, and that was really cool. I remember when I was first getting into chameleons / panther chameleons, and some people were talking about it like on the forums, and I looked it up, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like a pink and blue panther. Little did I know that it's like that big as an adult, but I was like, dude, what if you like mix this with like a panther? It'd be so awesome. But no, not possible. Side note though, I just checked the incubators yesterday, and I think our giant spiny cross panther chameleon eggs are about to hatch. And it is so funny how much shit I've been getting about that. Oh, it's not possible. No, there's no way. Like, blah, blah, blah. But guess what, guys? This is going to be the new frontier to the West Coast Chameleon Brothers, and I still haven't made a name for it. And it still hasn't happened yet. Knock on wood that it does, but the giant spiny panther chameleon. I think we can do better than that. But I'm so excited. And you know, there is data that this does happen. This is hybridization like this is natural. It's naturally occurring. It does happen. I mean,
oh yeah. I mean, like, dude, like the crested gecko and the chihuahua thing, dude.
Yeah,
dude, you got to think about it. The chihuahuas probably rape those little crested geckos all the time in like the wild and stuff. Like, dude, I mean, like, bro, hybridization does happen, just like some natural, you know, inbreeding happens, dude.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when a clutch of chameleons hatch in the wild, it's not like they know, oh, hey, that's my brother. No way I'm going to breed with you. Like, it happens. Now, I'm not saying it's good at all. You know, I've seen people that have done it, and they come out with issues like what are some issues that we saw, Darcy? Like
cleft lip.
Cleft lip. That is a sign.
That's the most common.
That's a common sign of inbreeding. Ugh. I remember.
Wait, what did you say? The left clap?
No, cleft lip. Like where the lip is like up.
Yeah, it's like
it's not perfect. Yeah, there's like humans can get it too.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a group of Mitzios from someone, and you know, I was like, well, what were your bloodlines? Couldn't really tell me the bloodlines, but this is when I was first getting into it. Like half of them had cleft lips and stuff, and I'm just like, dude.
Yeah. So so how often do you really like see like people's like projects really like fruitful, like become fruitful with their endeavors with like some of your imports? Because obviously you can't keep them all. Like obviously like my Cap S line has like, or your Cap S line, sorry,
It's
that's
yours,
actually
man. It's yours. Listen, my male that I held back from that group didn't breed for me. So that's when I swapped over to creating my insane, designer hybrid Cap S Ambelobe crosses, and then like cross that out to like to Arlo, one of my best chameleons. It's 75% Cap S, 25% Ambelobe. But dude, I'm telling you, you rock that Cap S stuff. I'd say that you're more of it than I am. So
I just like to call it the Onyx
I'm
line.
just your
I don't say
granddaddy, baby. I'm
I'm
just your
just a granddaddy. So
I'm just
like,
your granddaddy.
is there like any other stories like that with like, let's say like, I'm sure you try to breed some of the other species, maybe like the blue noses or just something like that, like, and probably had some attempt fails that happens. And like, maybe kind of like you were saying, like those one customers I took over and bred those, was it elephant ears or
Yeah.
something?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Have they,
they're
have
still
they
in the
really
egg
took off?
right now. No,
Oh, okay.
we'll find out soon when they're going to hatch. They're treating the eggs like a person chameleon, so they're going through diapause.
Mhm.
And they will take a little longer to hatch, but as I've heard, that's the only way to hatch them. So we'll find out. I'd love to share more about that as it happens.
Yeah, so is there any other of the species that you really want to take off? Like, I know you got the parsons and the carpets in, but what are some of the oddball species that you guys just really want to see just start hatching little babies out?
Well, right now I'm working on Furcifer bifidus, and like, I mean, they're tough, dude. Like, I'm really lucky with a male, the wild caught male I got. I got him as a young baby, and we call him Biff. I think you've met Biff, and he's freaking awesome. But like, dude, the females are so hard to keep in captivity, and I don't know exactly why. Um, you know, I mean, like, even Primo Chameleons, who has hatched them successfully, like he's like, dude, good luck because they're
Mm-hmm.
tough. But
Mhm.
I really love this chameleon. I love their rostrum. I love their colors. I love how the female looks. The sexual dimorphism is so much different.
Like this one? Is this it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. And
Mhm.
it's really nifty because, like, honestly, I think that so. From my understanding, is like these guys are like at the very split of when the two genuses like Columna and Furcifer, and it's you'll actually see a lot more Columna with females that look. Well, I'm mixing it up now. Actually, I think I'm mixing it up. So ignore me. But um, yeah, I'm mixing it up. But I just find it very cool that a a bifidus female also looks like a Will's eye female. They're almost identical. It also looks like I forgot how to pronounce it, but it's like a Bellatrix or Beatrice, whatever. It kind of looks like a a man. I'm tired. I just had a head fart. Really good.
Oh, brain fart. You can't even say it right. Brain
I
fart.
didn't even say it right. A
Mhm.
bifidus. But also, if you look at Africa, like what we call the dwarf fishers, um, they the females look exactly the same too. Type in dwarf fisher female. Oh, right there, first one, first photo. Tell me that
Holy
that
crap.
doesn't look the freaking same.
Really? That's the same, dude?
It looks the
Dang.
same.
Oh, real quick before I forget, dude. So,
Mhm.
I'm kind of slowing down on the Panthers. Don't get me, or
It looks the
Chameleon.
same, but just smaller.
Yeah, it
Like,
looks the same but small.
I'm not really as hardcore into chameleons that I used to be. Don't get me wrong, I still love them. I'm always going to have some, but if I were to ever get another species besides a Parsons,
Quadricornis.
oh my god, you knew what I was going to say, dude. Yeah, Quadricornis. Let's check this guy out. I mean, okay, guys, you're going to love this one. Come
Yeah,
on,
that one
flicker.
looks sexy.
Yeah.
Dude, look at this, dude. How can you guys not say this is not sexy? I mean, zoom in, zoom in. Oh no. Well, dude, look at that. The colors onto it, the little four horns. Let's get some more, dude. Like I remember when I first started
The
getting
sail
Panthers,
fin and the sail tail.
I would see these guys. Oh man, stupid Google. I see these guys from time to time, and I just love that little dinosaur fin on it, the little yellows, a slight bit of. Some of them can have red, from what I remember, in the white.
I remember when there used to be so many, like there were people breeding them heavily in captivity, but now it's like impossible to find a.
I think they shut down import. Actually,
yeah, they did, but also like some breeders got out of it, and now there's very few to almost no lines that are unrelated left. My buddy Dan with Dan's Chameleons, he has a male. If you ever really were looking for one, I got you, bro. But
captive bred.
I really wanted to. Yeah, captive. Yeah, they're only captive bred these days.
Yeah, you can't find.
Oh
them.
yeah. You know, I might take you up on that, like for real, because like, I mean, it's probably never gonna have the chance. But you know what kind of scared me? I never got one in the past, even though I had the money. Was that I hear that they have to be super low temps, but I mean, people were probably just saying things, dude.
Like a Jacksoni.
I never even kept the Jacksons. I thought they were cool, but I just never wanted to keep a Jacksons, really. I was just too much of a Panther slut in the day.
Yeah, I've never kept the Jacksons.
Ooh, see, look at that real darkness. I really like that, dude.
Okay. Yeah, that guy's probably pissed.
So have you ever got any of these on any type of import at all, or just now?
No.
Dang, dude.
So I think, man, I don't know why I'm so tired today. I can't think right, but so these guys would come in with Mellors, with the Mellors chameleon. I forgot the region. I don't know why I can't remember it. But like that's that's the Mellors, the Quadricornis, and like the Cristatus, the crested chameleon. Yeah, those don't get imported anymore. And it sucks. That was probably my favorite day ever. Is when I got a Cristatus in. I took a photo with my Christmas sweater with a dinosaur on it, and I was holding it, and I made like a Facebook post, and I was like, this has been a dream ever since I was a kid. And it really is. Like, I have a reptile book, and I have that I made when I was 6, or I marked the pages, and that was actually a chameleon that I marked. One day I'm going to bring it onto the live stream.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, and we'll see if I've achieved my dreams. The Mexican beaded lizard was one of them.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I think we're getting close to wrapping it up now. So is there anything else we want to talk real quick about importing? Any pros or cons?
So let's just do a recap. Pros would be to establish these species in captivity, potentially help them from going extinct, potentially help them. If we have enough in captivity, there won't be as much of a need to export them anymore. So the demand will go lower. Taking them out of the wild won't be needed anymore. That's kind of like the whole idea with Parsons chameleons.
And your dad came to visit too.
Oh, you're talking about with the Cristatus? Yeah. Wait, what did you say?
Me? Or
no,
her?
Darcy. Oh, never mind.
Her microphone probably broke. But you know,
and the cons obviously are the method at which they are collected from the wild, them being shipped for a few days, them having parasites and bacteria and fungus potentially, and noobs or beginners getting them and not knowing what they're doing with them. And I mean, with all living animals, this is a factor, but the death, so there are pros and cons. I couldn't say if like one outweighs the others. Kind of all depends on how you look at it. But we have goals here, and we try not to sway away from them. And as long as we're not just doing it for the money, and there's a reason behind everything, it's solid. But again, when it boils down to like what Darcy was saying, if it's only about the money, then that's not okay.
Oh, actually, hey, I'm gonna not try to keep this going too much longer, but there's something I wanted to bring up, dude. So let's keep it real, dude. So we talk about conservation, right? And we're talking about we're working with them for conservation purposes. And I'm not trying to like degrade anything we were talking about conservation, but I just feel like keep working with wild caught animals unless you're literally working with like the scientists and facilities and actually like got paperwork signed by the government. Technically, we're not conversationists at all. No, at the end of the day, no matter how much we want to say we are, any animals that you ever worked with wild caught, did you ever send them back? And I'm not trying to like degrade you or anything like that. It's just like it was a topic I kind of want to bring up myself. I feel like it really happens a lot in the community.
I hear what you're saying. One, it's actually not okay to re-release an animal back after it's been in captivity, because you can literally get that whole region sick or something like that, unless it's done properly, unless scientists have or whatever or like herpetologists have gotten it ready. Like I remember they re-released some desert horn lizards, the little cute guys that we were looking for in Palm Springs that shoot blood out of their eyes and stuff. They did, and they were able to reestablish. These were professionals that were doing this. They were able to reestablish this species in the wild. But I don't know if you can look it up, but there is such thing as what was the word you used?
Conversationist or something like that.
There is a such thing as conservation through captive breeding. Again, if these regions get knocked out in Madagascar and we have these in captivity, and my work does pay off, and we actually have some parson lines here. I mean, there's a bunch of other people that are working with them, like Primo Chameleons is actually slaying it, but the species still exists, and at some point we can't. If it's necessary, I'm sure I keep flipping my hat. I don't know why. I'm sure scientists or whatever, we could figure something out where we can reestablish these species in the wild. Now, I haven't gone that far or anything yet, but if anyone looks it up, it's conservation through captive breeding, I believe, or something else. And it's a big thing, actually, in the animal world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this was a really fun episode, but I think it's time to wrap it up. We're all getting tired. It's hungry. We got things to do. But I just want to say thank you, everyone, so much for coming on. Darcy, Mitch, I enjoyed having you guys on today talking about this. And I wish we could talk more about this. Like, there's just so many things that really can go, like, deep diving into, like, importing and stuff. And there's so much more, like, behind-the-scenes stories and stuff like that and all this weird conspiracy, blah, blah, blah shit. But, but next time, we're definitely going to have you guys back on the show again. And I really do appreciate you guys coming. And if you guys want to find their social media pages, have all the links down in the description. And while you're down there, make sure to check USARK's video about the Washington ban. And please help a brother out. Because, like I said, it can come back and bite you in the ass if it happens over here. So,
yeah, and if it happens, you're probably going to have to move next to me, buddy.
Oh, God. Which would actually be cool, actually. I'm not going to lie. All right. Yeah. I want to thank you guys so much, and you guys have a good one.
All right. Hey, you too, brother. And Darcy, it's good seeing you. That was an awesome thing we did.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, it is kind of exhausting talking about this stuff. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate you having.
And it's like hard to like wrap something up.
Yeah. There's just so much to it.
Yeah. But all right. I'll catch you guys later. You guys have a good one.
Sounds good, man. You too.
Later, Darcy. Later, Mitch. Man, I just want to say that was a fun episode, guys. And thank you guys again for tuning in. But, I do have another episode coming up here soon. Not next weekend, because I'll actually be vending at the Pacific Northwest Reptile and Exotic Animal Show next weekend. But the weekend after that, uno momento, I got something that I feel like would be pretty juicy. And so right here, the next episode, I'm going to be having Michael Scram from Austral Geckos actually on here. And we're going to be talking about, are morphs bad for the hobby? A big debate here, and I feel like They kind of are, but then they're kind of not either. So, me and Michael will actually have a healthy debate about this topic over here. So, mark your calendars. It's going to be coming up 2 weekends from now, and it should be really juicy. All right, you guys have a good one. I'll catch y'all later. Peace!